Okay, so picture this. It's January 24th, Bethlehem on Georgia. There's a freezing storm rolling in, sleet coming down sideways. Every sensible person is inside, hunkered down. But the people we're following, a mother-daughter team called the Crazy Cat Kitten Rescue, they're doing the exact opposite. They're actually gearing up to head into the storm.
And that really sets the tone for what we're unpacking today. We're not, looking at some high-level policy paper. We are diving into the raw day-to-day logs of grassroots animal rescue. It's gritty, it's freezing, and, well, it's an engineering challenge as much as anything else.
So their mission log starts at night. They aren't just like wandering through the woods, are they?
No, and the location makes it 10 times harder. They're at an industrial granite yard.
Wow.
Yeah, so imagine a maze of freezing stone slabs with wind just ripping through all the gaps. It is arguably the worst possible place to try and catch a tiny animal that's looking for heat. They were out there for 3 hours, hunting for one specific 7-week-old kitten.
3 hours in the sleet. That just sounds miserable. And looking at the notes, it wasn't exactly a smooth operation.
Oh, far from it. When you're doing field work, you just can't control the variables. At one point, amidst all the tension, they check a trap, hoping for the kitten. And inside they find a big, fat, beautiful raccoon.
I mean, you have to laugh at that, or you just cry.
Exactly. It just highlights the lack of control. But eventually, the persistence did pay off. They got the kitten, but crucially, they also trapped Mama.
Okay, so getting the kitten out of the cold, that's obvious. But why is catching the mom such a big win? She's likely feral, right? She's not going to be a house cat.
Right, but this is where we get into the whole strategy of T&R trap, neuter, return. If she's truly feral, the goal isn't adoption, it's stabilization. They call it colony management.
We see that term in the logs with those two other cats, Zack, Snack, and Crinkle Fry, behind a Zaxby's. But I've always wondered, besides preventing more kittens, does fixing them actually change their lives that much?
Oh, it changes everything. Think of an unfixed colony as a war zone. The males are constantly fighting for dominance, for mates. The females are stressed. When you remove those crazy hormones, you basically delete that biological imperative to fight. The colony goes from a battlefield to like a retirement community. They stop roaming, they stop fighting, they just hang out.
So it's peace through chemistry. Okay, but let's talk about the ones who can't go back. We have to talk about Muffins.
Yes, Muffins is the reality check.
The photos in the source material are, they're pretty rough. Her eyes were completely crusted shut.
It was a severe case of feline herpes virus. She had active corneal ulcers. And just to be clear, we aren't talking about a simple infection. An ulcer here is an open sore on the surface of the eyeball. In the wild, that leads to blindness. Or worse.
Which makes the recovery log just incredible to read. It's a whole laundry list of antibiotics, ointments, round-the-clock care.
And while she has some scarring, the log now describes her as queen of the world. It just shows that the medical triage part of this is just as intense as the field work.
Speaking of intensity, I want to jump to something that, honestly, it kind of confused me. There was this guide posted on January 22nd about building winter shelters. You know, those plastic totes you sometimes see.
Right, the shelter physics guide.
Yeah. But the guide was so emphatic about one rule. You must use straw. Never, ever use hay or blankets. That feels totally backwards to me. If I'm freezing outside, I want a thick blanket, not a pile of dried grass.
It does feel counterintuitive, but it all comes down to thermodynamics. A blanket works for you indoors because you're dry. Outdoors, a blanket absorbs moisture from the air, from the cat's own body heat, and in freezing temps, that wet blanket essentially turns into a block of ice.
So you're basically wrapping the cat in an ice pack.
Exactly. It can actually kill them.
Oh.
Straw, on the other hand, is hollow. It repels moisture and traps warm air inside those hollow stalks. It lets the cat burrow in and create a heat pocket that stays dry.
That is a massive distinction. It is literally the difference between freezing to death and staying warm, all from a bedding choice.
It's a perfect example of how good intentions, I'll give the kitty a nice warm blanket, can be really dangerous without the right knowledge.
So when we step back and look at all of this, the granite yard rescue, the medical rehab for Muffins, the physics of insulation, it completely reframes what cat rescue actually is.
It really does. It's not just playing with kittens. It's a mix of construction work, veterinary triage, and, frankly, an endurance sport. And it's happening in the invisible infrastructure of our neighborhoods.
That's what I'm taking away from this. The next time you drive past a warehouse or the back of a strip mall, just realize there's likely a whole ecosystem there.
And if you happen to spot one of those plastic totes in the bushes, maybe take a peek. If you see a towel or a blanket inside, you might know enough now to swap it out for some straw.
A small choice that completely changes the odds of survival. Thanks for diving in with us.